Hi Leo, welcome to your July reading. So first things up, Jupiter is going direct on the 10th of July in Scorpio, which, as you know, is your 4th house. So I feel like a lot of you have probably been going through some family struggles, possibly some home struggles. Your immediate environment, there may have been some delays in the home, there may have been some unfortunate luck, things like pipes bursting or having to move or not quite getting the house that you wanted if you're moving. Wasn't the prime time to move, but with it going direct, there's going to be more focus on nurturing family relationships, because the 4th house is all about nurturing. It's the mother. It's like Cancerian energies. Sometimes this can be something as simple as feeling a little bit like your life has been lacking in affection or lacking in security, is the way I see it for you guys. Mars is retrograding in July through Aquarius, which is your house of partnerships. So again, I'm sort of getting the impression that there was maybe a bit of discord in your interpersonal relationships, particularly romantic as well, with the 7th house energy. If you were married, I feel like there could have been a lot of domestic arguments about things in married couples, but this is just a period. This isn't forever. Similarly, there is going to be a full moon in Aquarius at the end of July on the 26th, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think that's the day Mercury goes retrograde, but there is a full moon in Aquarius towards the end of the month, which again is bringing all these issues to light. So if you've been having struggles in your interpersonal relationships, your family relationships, a lot of things are going to come to light. A lot of conversations are going to be had. So I'm sort of thinking there'll be an Ace of Swords energy, cutting to the core of the problem, things getting sorted out, things getting unearthed and fixed finally. So it's kind of like the Tower as well. When things are crumbling down, you're actually just breaking them down to build them up again on stronger foundations. Certainly, I think a lot of Leos have been going through a time of being a bit misunderstood by the people around you. Mercury is going retrograde in your sign, so the most important thing you can do is be patient with yourself and be your own best friend. Don't be so hard on yourself that you're finding things a bit harder sometimes. Like if you're feeling a little bit like you can't breathe, just try. Meditation, focus on your breathing. And don't feel guilty about taking time by yourself, because you may be feeling quite anxious and quite trapped by your own thoughts, but they're only thoughts, okay? When you're feeling pain, it's your body alerting you for a reason. So if you are going through something, Leo, keep going, and we'll see what we've got for you this month. So underneath immediately I'm seeing the 9 of Swords, which is a very anxious card. I personally had been dealing with this a lot recently, and it was just following me around. And I got to the heart of the meaning that a lot of it is just to do with your own anxiety at night. A lot of the time when we live busy lives, we have a day-to-day schedule, and we can sometimes leave the concerns to just before we're about to go to sleep, which means we're not getting the right rest, we're not getting our mind right. Sometimes it can be as simple as resetting your brain by having a nap, making sure you're getting enough sleep. I do feel like things are very full steam ahead and there's a lot of pressure that you're dealing with, but you are handling it with the Chariot card here. What's crossing you is a Page of Cups though, so I think the lack of affection and the lack of emotional expression, the lack of a loving word here and there may be getting to you. There may be situations where it could be involving a Cancerian person, or maybe this reflects the Cancer that you have in your chart. Maybe you have Venus in Cancer, Mars in Cancer, or something like that. A lot of Leos do, but for me, this is sort of like you're not having the appropriate conversations with people you love, your emotional relationships. You're feeling a lack of progress there. Page of Pentacles is in the past. 8 of Pentacles. So I feel like for work-wise, a lot of you have been concentrating on work. 3 of Pentacles really focusing on building up something. I think a lot of you have had a lot of momentum in your career this year, particularly with the supermoon. It was back in January. in your sign. I think you've been having a good bit of momentum or a good bit of progress. Now, for those of you that haven't had that yet, I feel like it's in your immediate ether, like it's going on for you right now. But the moon card to me suggests that this month it's your personal relationships that are getting the big attention, and I think this full moon in Aquarius is going to be pretty pivotal for you. It's going to be very, very potent energy, very emotional energy. As I said before, breathe if you're feeling like it's a little bit stressful. When we have a full moon in a sign in our mode, so you're a fixed sign, so this is going to be fellow fixed sign energy, it can grate on you a little. It can make your emotions more intense. It can make the things around you seem a bit more you're disillusioned with things. You're not saying things completely clearly. So when the full moon brings things to light, this might be quite an exciting moon, but it could also be quite shocking. Aquarian energy is usually quite unexpected, sorry. The World card here suggests, so maybe travel. Now Scorpio got this in their same position. And the World is Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus within the card. So you may be dealing with a Scorpio person in your immediate circle, possibly the person that you've been having the lack of conversation with. It may be a family member, older or younger. It may be a romantic partner, or it may, for a lot of you, be a sibling. Nine of Cups here suggests that there are good times ahead. Eight of Wands. A lot of you are definitely traveling. And a lot of you have something to celebrate by the end of the month, which is always very positive. Celebrating with friends. This is more of a connected card, so if you've been feeling disconnected from the people in your life at the beginning of the month, I think I can see you going into something a lot more substantial at the end of the month. You know, talking to people, laughing with people. Certainly I do feel like there is an intuitive issue going on here where you're almost expecting the worst of some people in your immediate environment, and I think it's frustrating you a little bit because you don't quite have the energy to back it up. But I think there's a bit of deflecting going on, and that you're feeling a certain way. It's almost like you're feeling worried about something, but in reality you're worried about something else. So say you're really worried, you're saying you're worried about your career, you're actually worried about your relationship. Say you're really taking things out in your partner that's not done anything, it's because you're worried about your job. You know, I feel like there's a bit of deflection going on. Like you're not getting quite to the source of what it is that's bugging you. Hangman here suggests that there are a bit of delays going on as well. A bit of delays in these communications. Also thinking there may be a bit of a standoff, possibly with an air sign. Very likely with an air sign. I feel like there's been an argument, or there's been a very strong disagreement. You know, strong words were said. I feel like there's been a disappointment. There's been a lot of hurt surrounding an air sign person or a Capricorn. King of Swords can also represent a legal disagreement. It can represent a disagreement with the law. It can be a father figure. There's also a water sign here. Okay. In a romantic relationship in the recent past. Two of Pentacles. I think there might have been a choice in the recent past between two people. I'm sort of leaning towards a water sign and an air sign, but as I say, it can be sun, moon, or rising. It just depends on the person's dominant personality traits. So for example, you could be dealing with a Taurus person that presents as a King of Swords. Maybe they have moon in Aquarius, rising in Aquarius, and they're a little bit more off the wall than a Taurus person would be. I think you're dealing with someone who's a bit more, two very different people anyway. One's very sentimental, very emotional, very artistic, and the other person's very maybe intellectual, maybe head over heart. And I almost feel like you maybe feel you've chosen the wrong one, or you feel like you were in a relationship and they left you for the wrong one. I think there's been a little bit of remorse regarding a decision, and I think this came up for you guys last month too. Yeah, I think some of you guys are regretting something. It's coming up beside the World card, so it could have been regret over how something went with a fellow fixed sign, or it could have been travel plans that went awry, a decision to go overseas maybe fell through, and you weren't. I feel like you've not made your intentions clear, and I do feel like there's some sort of correlation here between a water sign that you're not in contact with, and you're struggling with, I think some of you have maybe gone with an air sign and you're having a struggle. Like I do sort of see this, what if I had gone for so-and-so? Like, what if I'd picked this person? What if I'd picked this job? I think there's a bit of remorse over a decision, and you're possibly, with the Three of Cups in the outcome position, you're possibly drowning in your sorrows a lot, socializing a bit. I do feel like there is regret over a decision and you don't feel like a winner, okay? And you're trying to be like, oh, it's fine, these things happen, you win, you lose, I'm gonna go out and celebrate, but you've still got this like lingering feeling of regret or this lingering feeling of remorse, because you may be dealing with someone that feels guilty about a decision, or you're feeling guilty about a decision. I feel a little bit like this has caused some friction with other people, maybe within your friendship circle, maybe within your family. I see a friction here with the Ten of Swords. I also, with the King of Swords, I think maybe you haven't felt as true to your word, or you feel like you've let yourself down more than anything else. And one thing that I said in the Pisces reading was that you are not accountable for anybody's decisions but your own. So if you are being told you did the wrong thing, but you feel you did the right thing, you feel like you acted fairly, you feel like you acted with integrity, don't beat yourself up about it. If you have regret over a situation, you can still do something to change it. We don't have any major arcana in the possible outcome or the outcome. You know, this is something that's still going. There's not that many major arcana at all, Leo. Your destiny is very much still in your hands, although we do have the devil underneath, so I feel like this was a better the devil you know situation. You did the best with what you knew at the time. I do feel like you had a connection with somebody that you thought could grow. I think there was a water sign involved here, possibly also an earth sign in your past that there was a real connection with that could have gone somewhere, but for whatever reason, I think there was an action taken that the other party just had to say no to, like had to draw a line. I think there was a line that was drawn, and I feel like you're in that mode at the minute. Now, with Mars retrograding in your 7th house, I think love relationships may reappear. You may get a second chance at things with people. But you're basically feeling like either the person that you've had a conflict or a disagreement with, you're not expecting a hero's welcome if you reach out to them, and you're not, maybe it's that you wouldn't give them a hero's welcome if they reached out to you. At least that's what I see with the 6 of Wands and the Moon. It's definitely something was walked away from. Or driven away from. You might have been going at some speed to get away from this. Someone was definitely very quick to get away before they got a very solid telling off. I just see with the Chariot card here, and this card is almost like someone speeding away before they can get a good sound. We call it a bollocking here, from their mother, from their partner. They just went off before anybody could blame them for what went wrong, is what I'm seeing here. They weren't gonna wait around and see what happened anyway. Ten of Pentacles. I can see your remorse, because I think a lot of you met someone that you thought was the jackpot, but for some reason it's not transpired that way. So I do see a little bit of regret and a little bit of remorse going on here. It could be in work. You could have been given a golden opportunity. Maybe something went wrong and you didn't take the opportunity for what it was. There's a little bit of hindsight here. You're looking back and thinking, I wish I'd done this, or I wish I'd done that. I sort of feel like it's in relation to this King of Cups person. Like potential that didn't manifest. And this is very reminiscent of the June messages, but it is only 2 months in a row. Messages sometimes take long. I mean, you go through relationships for years, so this may be energy that's just continuing on. Every month isn't going to be wildly different. If it was, you'd be on a reality show. But there is a reminiscing nostalgia here. And I think it's romantic nostalgia. I just think there's a little bit of wishing something was different regarding the way that things have worked out in love, or regarding the way that things have worked out in your family, maybe. I think there's a need here to want to mend fences, build bridges, for lack of architectural metaphors. Do I think a lot of you couldn't make a decision between two people, and so one person made the decision for you and you got left with the one that you actually realized wasn't the right one. Or it may be that you were in this position and you got left for someone that you feel didn't have the things to offer that you did. Maybe you thought you were with someone and you were more compatible, and they left you for someone younger, they left you for someone shallow, and you could see the problems, but maybe they didn't, and you're sort of wondering why. 9 of Pentacles. There's certainly going to be a lot of financial success this month, Leo. A lot of good things are going to be coming towards you. This was also in Scorpio's outcome position, which is your manifestations manifesting, seeing the fruits of your labor, seeing growth and seeing progress. There's going to be a celebration, at least for work. Maybe you get a new job, maybe you get a promotion. Something good's going to happen this month for you for work, for sure. And let me see, 4 of Cups is up with the 5 of Cups. Again, I'm thinking this was with Scorpio, but it may have been Pisces. This to me is typically a bit apathetic, not being completely content with the lot that you've been given, not being content with where you are in the world because it's beside the world, not being content with the way things have wrapped up. For me, it's feeling like things haven't wrapped up, like they're not done yet, but you're still kind of crying over the way things worked. For the men, certainly, woman-wise, I think there may have been more than one, but not necessarily. I just think there was somebody very suitable for you that you're sort of having your concerns with. Again, I'm getting Scorpio parallels. It may be that you're a Leo with a Scorpio moon, so this may be heightening the energy. But I feel like there was between you and a water sign, possibly there was a really definite end or a very intense end. Because Temperance is what you're hoping for, and then this is what you're afraid of. You're afraid it's over for good. But there's a new opportunity. Your month is going to be very, as I say, very celebratory in work. A lot of good things coming towards you. A lot of positive new adventures in work. A lot of positive new money ventures. Spark of genius in terms of your financial situation. For those of you looking for a job, great energy to be doing so. Some of you may be dealing with a Earth person, but I see this sort of as like an employer that takes you on or notices your abilities. Being celebrated in the workplace, being acknowledged, being pushed to the front. No more backseat. I sort of see this full moon bringing you out into the light rather than the shadows. I think a lot of things that have happened in the past have been in the shadows, and that's maybe where the confusions come from. But I sort of see this as, where are they now? Wondering about somebody, like where they are, who they're with, what they're doing, if they're happy. And you're not reaching out to this person, they're not reaching out to you, because the Page of Cups is what's crossing you at the minute. There's a reluctance to drive this forward, and there's a lack of progress romantically. So maybe this is why you're burying yourself in your work and you're getting so many results in the workplace. Because I don't see you, making your feelings known. I see you keeping them to yourself with the moon energy. I think you're gonna whatever it is that you're feeling, I don't see it being you that starts the conversation. I also feel a little bit like there may have been someone returned in the recent past, because the Six of Cups with the Two of Cups is in the recent past, but this is also with the, it's a soulmate connection, but it doesn't seem to be developing somewhat. I do feel like you decide you may be better off focusing on your career instead of making this contact, but the contact between you and another person is coming up in your hopes position. The Eight of Wands to me is all about sending messages forward. Temperance is about building bridges and finding healing in a situation. So you may be hoping to do this, or you may just be hoping to heal from the situation. Maybe the contact's not here because you don't want to speak to this person. Maybe you have a little bit of regret and you have a little bit of confusion, but you don't actually want to make anything of it. Maybe you don't want to do anything. For those of you that do want to do something, I suggest that it's probably best that you make the call. For those of you that don't want to do anything, concentrating on career is going to really flourish this month. It's a very good energy for it. We're also coming into your season at the end of the month. And with Mercury going retrograde at the end of the month, you may find that you get a chance to talk to people from your past in the end. More of an August energy. But as for now, I think you're probably going to be concentrating on your career first and foremost, concentrating on yourself and your family issues. I feel like a lot of you want to deal with fractured family problems. Your focus this month really doesn't seem to be on specific love relationships. It just sort of seems to be quite a thoughtful energy, and sometimes we need to press pause and have those thoughtful moments to make progress in the future. If there's arguments going on, a lot of the time reflection and making sure that you can see things from the other people's perspectives, because that's what the Two of Cups is. It's eye to eye. When you see them in this embrace, it's seeing eye to eye. It's a meeting of minds, it's a meeting of hearts. They're right in front of each other, they have nothing to hide. There's a light between the two, it's exposure. And everyone wants this energy, but the reason it doesn't happen is because people don't speak their truth and people don't see eye to eye, and they don't present themselves as they are. If you don't present yourself as you are, you won't find someone who's right for you, because you'll be giving a conflicting persona. If it doesn't match up, it doesn't match up. And if you feel like you've picked the wrong person, you owe it to yourself to be free from that restraint. If you feel like you are incompatible and it's making you both miserable, that's your call. But you may have picked this person for a reason, I feel like this month is more about reflection and introspection than making any hasty decisions. Okay? This is a month all about pause. Except in your career, I feel like that's taken off. And I feel like enjoying yourself is going to be pretty good for you this month, Leo. But I do feel like in terms of your romantic life, it's a good thing to reflect, particularly with the full moon coming up. I think towards the end of the month, the energy might have changed dramatically. And I think the August reading is going to be pretty different from the readings that we've had the 2 months for you guys, Leo. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in August for birthday month. Bye!